everybody, ReefGrrl here, and welcome to ReefGrrl Live. I am so happy you could make it. The whole idea here is to have some fun, chat, get some questions answered, maybe show off what you're doing, and get to know each other a little bit better. So sit back, relax, grab a drink. The stream is about to begin. Hi, everybody. So nice to see you all. Some of you were here very early. There's 16 people here already. I'm going to say hi to everyone. We do have a special guest tonight, and they will be along a little bit later. Baroque Reefman 45, you were the first one in, and yes, it was 2 hours ago, so thank you. That's great. Hi, Benny's Aquarium. Hey, Chili Wills Reef. Nice to see you. Oh, there's Carlos 23. Sorry, I was trying to get Carlos's comment. Hey, my favorite Carlos. Thanks for coming in. All right, Mr. DKH, what's happening? Nice to see you here. Nat King Reef, hello. Oh, there's Blue Carbon Reefing. Nice to see you, John. I hope you're staying well and the kids and everything. Hobby K Entertainment, nice to see you. Gabe's Reef Tampa. Gabe, no, you're not late. You're about right on time, so that's awesome. Kaler's Aquatics. Oh dear, pulsing xenia all died. Wish I could patent that. Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's everywhere when you don't want it, and you can't get it to go when you do want it. Christopher Hurst, nice to see you, Christopher. I saw you were one of the names that came into my email today, so that's good. We'll tell everybody about that as soon as I finish saying hi to all of you. Demo 03, Anne's Reef. Oh, nice to see you, Anne. That's great. There's DC Reefer, Peace Queen. Yeah, cool. All right, so I've said hi to everyone. Oh, except Sean's Fish Tanks just popped in. Hey, Sean. So yeah, I'll tell you something about the video that I put out, the reminder this week, and it's also tied in a little bit with our special guest. And anyone who watched that entire video will know that it contained a giveaway. And I had 7 people enter the giveaway, which is fantastic. I'm very glad about that. And I'll be doing the actual draw somewhere around 10 p.m., depending on how things go. Could be a little earlier. Yeah, so that was wonderful. So just to reinforce that sometimes I throw these giveaways in unexpected places. I have been known to put them at the very end of videos, and we have a little bit of fun with the entries. So more details on that later on when I do the actual draw. But thank you to all of you who entered. I really do appreciate it. All right. Who else popped in here? Root Boy Reefer Evolution. Oh, hey, how's it going? There's Metro Cat, New York City. Nice to see you, Cat. And Johnny Martinez. Good to see you too. Penny, oh no, I missed out. Yeah, those videos aren't long. Sometimes, I figured out if you would have watched that video, anyone that would have gone through, and if you win the prize, you could have earned yourself $600 an hour. If you watch that 30 seconds. Anyway, never mind. Okay. So I had a busy week. While I wait for our guest to join us, I did order my stock tanks. They haven't come in yet. And I'm hoping you guys can help a little bit tonight. Oh, there's enough of you here. Yeah, I need some advice because I can't decide. And if you follow me on Insta, you might have seen the bits and pieces that I've been putting together and getting here to start building my sump. And of course, the stock tanks are a big part of that. And the 10th business day after the order is Tuesday. So they said 7 to 10 business days to get them in from the warehouse. So hopefully I'll get them Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. But before then, I found something that I want to use for my overflow. And the idea is where the pipes come down through the floor, I want the first chamber to be filter floss and basically mechanical filtration. And I want a good amount of churn in there. So I want the water to plunge down and churn before it overflows. And so I picked up 2 Brute trash cans that, well, they're U-line, but they make Brute. And they're 32 gallons. I read the dimensions, but you don't know how big they are until you actually have them. So I got 2 colors because I didn't know which one I really wanted to use. So maybe you guys can help me. I'll show you the 2 colors and then maybe vote on which one you think would look better. There's this color or this color. They'll be set in this 50-gallon shallow tank, kind of like you see it here, but except it'll be up off the floor quite a ways. So this color or this color. So I don't know. I'm going to look at the comments now and see if anybody's made any comments about what they think. I don't know how much of a delay there is to YouTube. I don't have it up over here, but I just can't decide. When I look at the pictures, I think I know, but I'm not absolutely sure about that. So we'll see. And with the holding tank, it's still doing very well. I'm still working on the Moving the Reef video. Just haven't had time to do it. I was horrified when I got there the other day to find Stanley, the crocea clam, completely upside down in the sand. So I got in there and got him turned over right away with my long tweezers. And I think he could not have been there for very long because I had looked at the webcam before I left home. So it may be 2 hours later that I got there, and he opened up almost right away. But it made me realize that I really do have to get that stuff moved out of there so that I can be more on top of what's going on in there. So, oh, here we go. Here we go. Sean's fish tank, Nat King Reef. Okay, Mr. DKH says yellow. Nat King Reef says green. Sean says green. Green. Yellow is biohazard. Oh, that's a good reason. That's a good reason. Hobby K says green. Johnny says yellow. Green is mean. Yellow is mellow. Yeah, I might have to think about that one. Something must be wrong. Cindy is usually on time. Okay. Not sure what that means, but I'm here now. Whoa. Thanks, John. Super chat for $20. I appreciate that a lot. That's wonderful. Fish warming gift. Yay. Yeah, it's going to be moving along. I did see drawings today. I'll tell you a little bit about that as well. Select pet. Well, hi there, Kaler's Aquatics. Oh, there's Taryn's Little Ocean. Nice to see you, Taryn. What's a good submersible webcam? I don't know. I don't know whether that would be some version of a GoPro, maybe? I don't really know. Taryn says yellow. ETF says blue. I didn't choose blue because I was looking for a color that really would stand out in my sea of black stock tanks. So that's why these colors were almost fluorescent. They were so bright. We guessing colors? Oh, no, sorry. I'll show you again the pictures. If you guys just joined us, I got some 32-gallon trash cans to use as the first stage of my overflow for my new setup. And this is how they'll be set up in the stock tank. That's 50 gallons below there, but they'll be up off the floor quite a ways because they're going to be the first point of contact for the water. So I have yellow and I have green. And so I'm trying to get some help deciding what color I should actually use because I don't need both. And back to the comments here. And yeah, so that's, I think from just a kind of a quick poll, it looks like green is the crowd favorite here. Gabe, orange. Orange. Oh yeah, maybe it is a long lag time between YouTube and there. Broke Reef Man, are you in Australia? I wonder if that's part of it. Oh, hey, T40. Glad to see you. Just wanted to stop by and say hello at work, but we'll be listening in. Thanks for that, T40. Glad you can spend some time with us. Overflow, definitely turquoise blue. Yep, that color wasn't available. Oh, Christopher says green. Yeah, I'm sensing the crowd is leaning towards green, so that's probably the one that I'll start cutting holes in and using for the overflow. I still don't quite know yet how I'm going to set up the filter pads and filter floss and mechanical media in there. I was looking today at whether it's possible to use a roller mat. Not sure. I I can't imagine being able to use it in there just because of the way the pipes are all going to be coming down. It's going to be a bean animal overflow. I have 3 drains and I'm going to have 2 returns, and they'll each be a separate line supplied with a separate pump external, and some details to work out on that yet. I am in the midst of sourcing those pumps. The ones I want are not easy to get in Canada, and shipping is ridiculous from the US. It's about $250 US for 2 pumps and a skimmer. So I'm going to have to try and somehow get them in Canada, or I might have to move on to a different brand that's more readily available here. I like the green. Mermaid's Reef likes the green. Nice. Nice to see you here, Mermaid's Reef. Cat likes the green as well. Yeah, the green, I think maybe what it is with the green is it stands out against the wood. The yellow kind of blends more with the wood on the walls, and that wall won't be finished. It's a stud wall. It's got an electrical outlet attached to the side of it. The 2 studs on either side have electrical outlets attached, so it's not going to be closed in at all. It'll be wood. Hey, Alfie's Reef. So yeah, that's kind of where we are with that. I did get drawings, and I wrote back with a whole bunch of questions about some things that weren't on the drawings and some things I was wondering about. And this whole process is, I guess, when you do everything yourself and you get all the components and put them all together, if you make a mistake or you change your mind, there's a cost to it, but not a drastic cost. But if you're having somebody build a tank and you forget to ask for that notch in the back top of the glass for a cord, then you're just, and especially with a Euro brace, there's got to be some way to get the cord through the corner of the tank so that you're not looking at a big cord wrapping around a Euro brace. So things like that you really have to think of ahead of time, and there's a cost associated with it. I'm sure every notch I ask for is going to cost me. So it's trying to think of everything you can at this point. And I've got 10 years experience, but I've never assembled the pieces and put together a system before. I've inherited a system and added to it. I've set up another system the same way and added to it. I've set up an inherited project that I bought from somebody, but it already had most of it done. So I've never put all the pieces together starting from scratch. And it's a bit mind-blowing and kind of overwhelming almost. So, yeah. Hey, David L. Nice to see you here. Wow. We're right up to 29 people. That's awesome. So has anybody got any questions, or you're wondering about anything? Or let me just see if I have any. Oh, hey, Kimber Reefs. There's a question. Let's start with that. Broke Reef Man 45. Aquifer salt users, DKH 5.9 with the Hannah checker, asking about what the DKH checks out to in aquifer salt. I did try once to use aquifer salt, and the only place at the time that I could get it, because it was newly introduced to North America, was on Amazon. And both times it arrived as a 10 kilogram brick. I could not even hammer a screwdriver into that stuff. It was solid. And the second, so I returned the first one, ordered a second one, The second one that came had a label on it that was in Florida somewhere. So my assumption is that wherever the warehouse, that's where the warehouse is. And Florida's humid. So I'm guessing maybe that contributed to it. I don't know. But that was my attempt to use Aquaforest salt. And I never really went back to it after that. So I'm assuming they've solved that problem because people do use it. And I know you can buy it now in Canada. So I have the Tropic Marin mixed with Fritz that I really like right now. So I'm going to be going with that going forward, unless something happens to change my mind. So let's see if anybody has any answers. Florida sucks, but I love it anyway. Gabe. Well, with Tampa in your name there. Having a hard time finding mollies. Any hints who online might have some? Stores, I'm sure, like Petco. If your Petco carries livestock, that's where you would get them because they're mainly sold as a freshwater fish. So any store that would have that kind of freshwater, if they have guppies, platies, tetras, any of that kind of thing, that's where I would suggest. As far as online, I don't know about the freshwater online market, but I have heard of people getting things like cichlids shipped. So I don't know, maybe somebody in the chat has some advice for you on an experience they might have had with buying online for freshwater. Who else we got? Oh, hey, Straight Reefer. Nice to see you. And Malcolm's Reef. Glad to see you here, Malcolm. Malcolm has a question. Anyone had problems with swim bladder issues in their fish, and how did they solve it? I've never had a problem with that. I think if we had Alex G with us tonight, he could probably answer that with his many years of fish experience. I know there are videos on YouTube about it because it's one of the things that comes up when something's wrong with a fish and you Google to try and find information. Swim bladder issue videos do come up. So Epsom salts is one thing. If you bath them in a solution of Epsom salts, which is essentially magnesium, I don't have any specific experience with swim bladder issues. We might get answers in the chat here. And yeah, Mr. DKH says, yeah, Petco. Yeah, I don't know. Does Petco ship? A lot of retailers have gone with online sales during all of the crazy that's going on right now. So I don't know if Petco is one of them. I know here in Canada we have PetSmart and they ship, but not livestock. So I'm not sure about Petco. Freshwater pond fish, we used peas, but never had it with salt water. Yeah, that's another thing. And if you do use peas, you mix up a slurry, remove the shells. I think canned peas are the best as long as they don't have preservatives in them. Maybe frozen peas are better, but you have to look at the ingredients and make sure you rinse them well and remove the shells, and then you can kind of turn it into a mush and pop it in the water. Try and get them to eat that. Save me from the Jason Fox live sale. Okay, stick around, David. Mr. DKH getting a new snowstorm clown next week. Nice. Those are black and white. I don't know if I've heard of snowstorm clowns. I've heard of black storm clowns. God, I can't talk tonight. Yeah, that'll be nice. I can't remember if I've told you guys about Tilly and Willie. I did do they were at the very end of last week's, or the week before's reminder video. I did get a pair of clownfish. They're teeny tiny, maybe 1.25 inches long. And they're in Mollywood right now because we're down to one molly in Mollywood. We did have a jumper, and we had another one that just passed of old age. That one was about 4 years old. So I thought it would be a good time to introduce a couple of new fish. So we have a pair of clownfish in there, and they're thriving. I've been giving them, or my daughter's been helping me give them brine shrimp 3 times a day, soaked with a few drops of Selcon. And they also get a mixed diet with flakes and things that I feed the big tank. So yeah, they're doing well. Oh, okay. White with black eyes and fins. Nice. Cool. Malcolm's Reef says it's a McCosker wrasse having issues with. Yeah, I don't have wide experience at all with wrasses. They will ship Petco under the Live Aquaria umbrella. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Kaylor got a pair of platinum clowns last week. So are the platinums white? Not like the Wyoming white, but white with some black or some orange? I am not up on my designer clowns. I'm really not. Cool. For swim bladder issues, David L. Okay. Yeah. What else can I show you? Oh, what the heck. It's early in the night, but you know what? It's quiet right now, and it's slow, and we don't have any guests. So here you go. Here's this week's cute. Yeah, apparently it's really exhausting being a baby. Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Oh, and look at this. Thank you, Malcolm's Reef. I appreciate that. $4.99 super chat. We love it. I was when I was looking at doing this week's giveaway, I kind of looked back to look at the super chats, and the wonderful thing is that the prize tonight is going to be a cash prize. It's completely covered by super chats. So there you go. It's wonderful to get them, and this is the way I can sort of share the love and give you guys back. So thank you for that, Malcolm. A people frag. Yeah. Larva. Yeah, he's learning to eat now, and I do have a short video of him and his milk with Cheerios in it, but I won't do that until we're really dead, just so you don't have to listen to me talk all night. Mostly white, some black, orange, mostly facial. Okay, so that's the platinums. All right. Cool. Yeah. Thanks, guys. The grandma indulgence, right? So as far as the new tank goes, I guess I can reveal it to you here on the live stream. The decision has been made about lighting, and the lighting is on the way. And I've been saying for months now that I am going all Orfec, and that's what I'm doing. I have the 2 Orfec OR2 light bars, the 120s, 48 inches long, and I'm getting 2 of the Atlantic version 4 Gen 2s. And full disclosure, I got a really good price on them, and I absolutely love Orfec, and that had been my original decision, is that's how I was going. And so the good price allows me to put a little bit more of my budget towards getting a better quality pump. So that's how that went. So they'll be here probably in about between a week and 10 days. And we're looking at a way of hanging them we haven't seen anybody else do. And we'll make them movable, not up and down, but horizontally, to allow me to have clear access to the tank when I need to work in it. And so doing that, I can hang them reasonably close to the water. I've used the bar lights 14 inches off the water, and that's how I hung my Kessel as well, the AP700. And it was fine. I was able to get into the tank, but that was a different tank. It was only 22 inches front to back and 22 inches deep. However, this tank that I'm getting has a Euro brace. So that's about 4 inches of clearance I need before I can even reach into the tank. And so I'll be having to lean over a little more. Plus, the tank dimensions are 60 by 66. So there will be parts of the tank that are going to be difficult to reach, probably about 2 feet from the front all the way to the back wall in sort of a corridor down the middle. So that's why if I can set my lights up so that they can be moved out of the way, then I can not be reluctant to lean right over. As far as possible, I won't be having to miss hitting my head on lights. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm very excited because I have not used a panel LED for a long time. The last one was a Chinese black box. And these get very good reviews. And the spectrum that they put out is what I like, a lot of blue. And they're constantly working on them to upgrade them and improve them, do more research, and turn that research into something that benefits the lighting for aquariums. So they have a lot of installations in public aquariums all over Europe, all over the world, actually. And so I know that I'm getting quality. So looking forward to that a lot. I guess I'll have to do an unboxing video. It's been a long time since I've done an unboxing, and I can hardly wait till I get here. So that's that story. Good call. Woohoo. Yeah, it's funny because I think I said once before, you would think by now I would have a notebook full of plans, but it all has to sort of work together piece by piece. And some things depend on other things. So if something doesn't work out, you have to change direction. So it's, such as the pumps that I want to use. If I can't get them in Canada, then I'm going to have to move on to a different brand because I don't feel like I should be paying $400 for shipping, because $250 US and plus it's going to trigger HST because of the value. And if they send it by a UPS, via UPS, I will be charged brokerage, which I really dislike UPS because of that. So, it's a matter of figuring out a way to get them within Canada so that I can afford them. Yeah. Abiz. No, I did look at Abiz, and I don't think I don't think my particular level of hobbyist would benefit from the extra they have to offer. I totally get that they'd be awesome for super, super large system like Alex has got, definitely, or business where you're running multiple tanks with thousands of gallons of water. I really can see that. But I can't justify the price of those things for the level at which I'm going to be using them. I'm doing my best to get Deltec, and they make the eFlow series, and I'm looking at getting 2 eFlow 12s and a Deltec 3000i skimmer. And those three things coming to Canada, that's what I'm talking about, the $250 US for shipping, and then HST, and then whatever else I have to pay to actually get the parcel to my house. So there's a lot I can buy for that kind of money in other equipment. So it's really going to depend on whether something can get set up here. It's interesting because you assume everything's available everywhere, but it's really not. It's a lot of what we see in the market is US based, and that's why I tend to use things that come from overseas, because I can actually get them at a cost that doesn't involve ridiculous gouging for exchange for the US dollar and also expensive shipping. So, yeah. Abiz Iraq. Cool. Iraq? Are you asking me, Kaler's Aquatics? A way to slide the lights horizontally? Malcolm's Reef. Deltec went out of business. No, they really, to my knowledge from doing the research that I did when I got Chad, the 600i skimmer, they lack distributors in North America. They're a German company. They're quite widely used in Europe. They're easy to get in Europe. And for whatever reason, distributorship here in North America has been difficult for them. Adam at ReefGrrl is a Deltec fanatic, and he was able to get me the Deltec skimmer I have now. I call him Chad. He's the 600i. I still have that skimmer. I will be using it when I set up my temporary sump system just to get things going before the tank arrives while I'm waiting for it to get built. I'm going to be using that skimmer. So I don't know. I haven't been in touch with Adam at ReefGrrl about what the status is right now of his availability, of the product availability to him, whether he gets it through Deltec USA, because there is a company now called Deltec USA that is distributing the product, and they're based in Florida. And that's who I've been talking to about getting the pumps, because they had an awesome Black Friday sale, 30% off. And that's the range, because that represents the exchange on the dollar. It's actually a little more than that, but so I can look at that price and get it for what the normal price is if it weren't for the exchange. So yeah, anyway, I would have saved a lot of money, and that makes it affordable for me. So they are attempting to move into the market. The eFlow has been around for probably, I don't know, at least 10 years or more in Europe. So I thought in October 2019, when I was at Reefapalooza and I met a Deltec representative there and talked to him about it, I thought it was brand new, but it has been around for almost a decade, I think, or more in Europe. So they were introducing it in North America. So that's kind of what made me interested in that, because I love the skimmer so much. Hey, Dramedy. Dramedy's here. Cool. So I guess I've been bad cat. I need to send a link out to somebody, because we're not going to have a special guest unless I provide them with the link to the stream tonight. So let me just send that, because I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I'm sure that person was on my list. Let me just get this. Bear with me a second. There we go. Yeah, I was so busy getting everything ready for tonight that it completely slipped my mind. Okay. All right, we should be good to go. Sorry about that. Love my Deltec, would buy another one, no doubt. Linda is working awesome. That's great. Yes, my Deltec skimmer is called Chad, and Carlos's Deltec skimmer is called Linda, because I understand that Linda is Spanish for cute. So there you go. It's a thing, right? When you get your Deltec skimmer, you have to give it a name. So my 3000i is rated for 550 to 700 and something gallons. So I'll have to come up with a really good beefy name for it. Okay. Yeah, Dramedy says the 1262 was a beast. Battle Crows was selling for a bit. Yeah, I don't know if he is still now. I haven't looked at his website for a while. But let me bring in our special guest, since I spent half an hour blithering here, wondering to myself why she hasn't come in yet. And it's my fault. Sorry about that. Hey, Kat.
You forgot about me.
You know, I have a list of about 40 some people who have been guests in the past. And as each person comes in, I add them to the list. Somehow I never got you on there. So I'm sorry.
Not to worry. How's everything?
Good, good. Just my brain is mush. I'm so busy. Like I don't know where the time goes. It's I'm still running back and forth because my reef is not in my house, and it's stressful. And like I said, Stanley was like flipped right upside down in the sand yesterday, the crocea clam, and it was a bit shocking. Okay,
Yeah.
so everybody,
Put
go ahead.
right side up is okay after that?
Yeah, I didn't know what tool to use, and I whipped the lids off, and I got these long tweezers that I have. His foot is not attached to anything, but he has been sitting in a cradle. So he's not in the sand. He's in this little oval dish, like that's what he came in. You know those cat clam cradles they sell,
Mm-hmm.
and he let go of that quite a while ago. I think something um, when I had my large turbo snails, one of them was either cleaning the glass or cleaning his shell and got too close to the glass and pushed him off. So he didn't suffer from it. I mean, he still looks really, really good, but he was just laying right upside down. So I got my tweezers really carefully, didn't pinch his shell, just really carefully rolled him back over. And within about 10 minutes, he was open again. So, you know, I'm glad that he couldn't have been there for very long. So I got to get him out of there.
That is good.
Yeah. So everybody, we have Kat here tonight because she has a special creature that she's taking care of right now. And this special creature, you might know if you follow her on Instagram, you might know what it is. But this little guy, I'll let you tell the story, but I'm going to put up the name of what that is before we, because everybody's going to ask, right? Because I looked it up.
Absolutely.
Here we go. You have an Octopus mercatorus. Is that how you pronounce it?
You know, I don't know. I was on a podcast with Peter, who, by the way, says hi to you, Cindy. He says,
Oh, hi. Nice.
You met like a couple years ago in Chicago, I think.
Yep.
And so he was saying hi. But Peter, I was recording a podcast for RNN a couple days ago on Thursday. Actually, it dropped, and I called it Mercatorus, and he called it Mercatorus. So I haven't really looked into it, but I suppose both are okay.
Yeah.
But that is his species name. He's a dwarf, Caribbean dwarf octopus. He was shipped out to me from Tampa, so he's from the waters in the Gulf, and he's just a cute little bugger.
And you, if I remember, he was a hitchhiker.
He was not actually. No. He was
you actually ordered. Oh, cool. That's cool.
Yeah, Inky is his name. Well, actually, his name is Ragnar Octavius Inksalot.
That's great.
Yeah, so he's about the size of a quarter, so he's really itty bitty. He was not a hitchhiker, and he was not an impulse buy. What I do once a year is I get fresh ocean rocks from Dan. Dan is the owner of Gulf Live Rock out in Florida, and I've been getting my rocks from him from the very first time that I started in the hobby. So it's been about almost 10 years. And so he goes into the ocean on, say, a Monday, picks out the rocks from his site. So he's got a designated site underwater that he rents and pays for. And they put land-based rocks like marco rocks in these sites, and
Oh, I see.
natural life form grow over on these rocks over time, so months, years. And so these are beautiful, naturally purple rocks with encrusted macroalgae, corals, sea rods. It's beautiful. Sponges. Oh, the variety of sponges. So I get those once a year. I like to say that I'm inoculating my system with fresh bacterial slime. The microbiome that you find on these natural ocean rocks, you're not going to get that bacterial profile out of a bottle. So I find that it instantly matures the system, or it matures a new system faster. And so I've just been doing that forever. So I was getting my yearly, inoculation, and Dan said, I'm sending you an octopus."
Wow.
I was like, "You're what? No." He said, "Yes." So I said, "I don't have a dedicated system. I don't have the space to set up a dedicated system." He said, "Just throw them in the sump." Not going to do that. But he did say, which, sort of gave me pause a little bit. He said, "If anybody can take care of an octopus, it's you." So the next thing I knew, when the next week, I went to the airport to pick up my box of rocks. Inky, the octopus, was in there. He was shipped in a plastic water bottle, and he was just sitting in there with the rocks. So it was an interesting way to ship an octopus, no bags, no nothing. He was in this bottle. And then there was this other bottle with him with a crab in it. And I didn't know why he sent me like a crab. Maybe it's like a special crab or something. I don't know. So I put the rocks in the sump, and I put the crab in the sump. And after Inky had acclimated, I put him in a fish trap in my display. So while I was getting his tank, his lonesome tank ready. I didn't realize till the next day, because Dan messages me the next day and said the crab is food for him. And I had tossed it in my sump, so I went digging in there to find it, and I did find it, thankfully, and I put it in this fish box, the trap that Inky was in. The next morning, it was just smithereens. It was just a shell.
Wow.
Nice little snack at night. Yeah. So as far as his species goes, he's super duper tiny. Like, he's about a quarter right now. And I don't know how much bigger he'll get or how old he already is. Really sad about octopus in general, except those giant guys you see in the aquariums, the public aquariums. They don't live very long. So in most cases, they live less than a year, like about 8 months is about average. And there's no telling how old he already is. So it makes me sad. So I'm hell-bent on enjoying every single moment with him.
No kidding. Well, why don't I show some pictures, and you can tell us a little bit about the pictures. Now, is there anything you want me to show first of the stuff that you sent me? What would you think would be the first thing? Maybe in the water bottle?
Sure, let's do the water bottle.
Okay.
That would acclimate.
I thought I had it. Is it this one? No, it's not that one.
It's one of the bright white ones. Everything else is dark.
I see it. Yeah. Oh no, he's in the hamster tunnel in this one, right?
Not in the if he's in the water bottle and it's all white. No, this is him grabbing a crab. So I call this a crab grab. Now, this is a fiddler crab, and these things are super small. They're about like a 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch. So this gives you an idea how small Inky is.
Wow.
Crabs are huge for him, and I've got some videos on my Instagram where the crab has scared him, and he like jumps back like a foot in the air. In his tank. And this is why. So that was the first time that I caught him actually eating a crab on camera. So the one that we just saw was me saying hello. He wrapped tentacles around my finger.
And we should We should mention that all of these photos are taken in the dark because they're nocturnal, right?
Yeah, this guy is nocturnal, so he only comes out after the lights are out. He doesn't have any light on his tank for that reason, because there's no corals in there, so he doesn't need a light, and he's not coming out in the daytime. Excuse me. But the picture after, well, when he was wrapping two tentacles around my finger, the one after that, I forget what it was, but yes,
This one here. Yeah.
this is him just hanging on the front pane of the glass towards the camera. And he just hangs there, and you see how the ends of his tentacles are curled.
Wow.
He does this thing which is very, it's really funny and it's strange. And I had to send his videos to a whole bunch of people to find out why he's doing this. But it's basically playing the tambourine with all of his 8 tentacles, and the very ends of it, he makes this circular motion like he's playing.
Cool.
It's really funny. So some people said that maybe he's nearing the end of his life. Some people said he's cleaning himself. Octopus have this thing that they do where they clean themselves. So they've got 8 arms, right? So their cleaning motion is they take each arm and they're sort of rubbing the whole length of their arm down. So what Inky does is nowhere near that. I thought at first he was cleaning himself, but he's not. He's literally just moving the ends of his tentacles like you would do like this with your wrist. The funniest thing, he does it every night. So
Wow.
of the people that I talked to, half of them said he's cleaning himself. Half of them said he's probably nearing the end of his life. And so, okay, but I sent that video to Richard Ross, who's, he's the authority on cephalopods. And he said, I've seen male octopus do this a lot, and it's nothing to worry about. The ringing of the arms is nothing to worry about. And I was like, okay, that's good. So he's just worried. He's just ringing his arms. He's worried. So, yeah. This is he in his acclimation box in my reef. Now, you see those little holes? This was a fish trap box. He totally could have escaped out of this. He is so tiny.
Wow.
But he was scared, so I think he didn't want to escape. And then I had an urchin shell where he went inside there and he hit himself. So I got lucky, but he totally could have escaped from this box.
So those holes are what, probably 1/4 of an inch?
No, way less. They're really tiny. Probably,
oh my goodness.
Probably put 2 bamboo skewers through it. It's so tiny.
Wow.
And he's even smaller. He's the size of a quarter, and they're very fluid. So their bodies are like jelly. That's why they can escape out of the smallest little opening, since they don't have any bones. The only hard part in their entire body is on their underside, where all the 8 tentacles meet. There's a little beak. And this beak is like a parrot's beak or a pufferfish beak. This is what he uses when he envelops his prey. This is what he uses to pierce through shells. If he can fit that beak through an opening, he can fit the rest of him through that opening.
Oh my goodness.
It's bigger than that beak. He can escape out of anywhere.
Wow. Here's another picture of him. I really like this picture.
So this was one of the first times I actually saw him out. I want to say this was maybe 3 or 4 weeks after I got him, and he was on the glass, and I couldn't believe it, because all this time with the night vision camera, I was just seeing like the top of his eyes on some rock somewhere, and here he was on the glass, and I just fell in love. This was at 4 in the morning.
Wow.
I was stalking my tank with the camera all hours of all the nights. This was at 4 in the morning. I just totally fell in love.
And I guess as reef keepers, we do this all the time, don't we? I mean, the number of times I've been hanging over my tank with a flashlight at 2 o'clock in the morning before I go to bed. It's like, oh, just before I go to bed, I'm going to take, one last look at the tank, and half an hour later, you're still there. I was looking at this one here.
Oh,
This would make an awesome T-shirt. Like, really, it is gorgeous.
thank you. When I posted this, I called it I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here's my handle, here's my spout. This is red because I had a red light on his tank for almost a month.
Right.
Because, as you know, red light doesn't startle the livestock in a saltwater tank, so you are able to observe them. And unfortunately, it didn't quite work with Inky. He was out and about, whatever, but he wasn't comfortable. And I found out later from Tulio. Tulio is with ReefGrrl, right? Tulio said to me that the way the LEDs are driven, whether they're directly driven or they have a PWM, whatever that means, the way that LEDs are driven, the one is fine when it's directly driven, but when it's not, there's a flickering that the human eye cannot detect.
Right.
But cephalopods, birds, and even sharks can detect it, and it stresses them out. So
Okay.
he said either put a directly driven LED on his tank, or like one of those really low moonlight type lights that you find for a betta tank. I couldn't find one of those. The directly driven one I did find in my stash was far too bright. So I said, okay, you know what? I do have a night vision camera. Why don't I just remove this red light? Same the day or the night that I removed that red light, he was out, like out. And all the pictures the black and whites that we saw earlier are from when there's been no light. He's just out and about. He never goes into hiding unless like maybe a crab scares him, then you don't see him for 10 minutes. But that definitely made a difference. Either it was too bright and flickering, both, or definitely flickering.
Right. Yeah. Hey, Reef Keeper. A bunch more people came in. He's happy. He's here just in time for Inky. That's cool.
Yes.
Everybody says hi to Inky. Hey, JV Gwaltney. Nice to see you. Jason Langer is talking about collected live rock helps eliminate many pests that come in with the rocks. Oh, QT of wild collected live rock. Yeah, I suppose. Nice harlequin tusk. Love those fish. And
I've never really had bad hitchhikers. I might get an aptasia or two, but these are called curlicue aptasia. They're not the glass anemones. They're just everybody's nightmare. So, but you can get mantis shrimp, bad crabs. You can get nasties, but in 10 years, I've just never encountered those.
And I've got a picture here. You're having a little fun with Inky. Was this for Halloween?
Actually, this is a friend of mine, David Bailey. He goes by Reef Club Design on Instagram. So he made that for me. I've told him to make me a couple more. So he did Harry Potter. And I've asked for Flintstones. And I've asked for a Viking hat because, he's a redhead and his first name is Ragnar.
Yeah, that would be great.
I've asked for all these costumes. For Halloween, he was a pirate with an eye patch. It was so cute.
And we've got this one. Now, this is a really good reference as to how big or how small Inky actually is, because that's your fingertip right beside him.
Yeah. So this is where you can see clearly he's a quarter, and you can see his two eyes, and he's doing the little wave, or he's like an elephant. So he's showing the underside, so he's kind of suctioned to the glass wall. So I see his underside right there. But this is not a daylight picture. It was actually taken with night mode on my camera, which naturally enhances dark pictures. So this was still very, very low light, not pitch dark. and this was my phone camera.
Oh, nice. Yeah, David or Broke Reef Man says PWNM is pulse width modulation.
Yes, thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly right. So that flickering is you can't see it and you can't tell it, but the animals can.
Yeah. And Mr. DKH is wondering how often Inky eats. And speaking of that, maybe we can show some of the videos that you sent me of Inky hunting. First, we can show what Inky actually does hunt. And I think that's what we have here, right?
Heebie-jeebie. So these are like 3 dozen fiddler crabs that I got for him, and I had to learn how to take care of fiddler crabs. Create a little habitat for them. Let me tell you, they stink. Oh my God, they stink. And I went back and forth with the people that I bought them from to learn more. Regardless of what you read online, your actual experiences really teach you the most. And I was just like, it was so nasty. But I've gotten into a routine with them. There's a filter with carbon. It doesn't smell anymore. There's very little water in there, and it's brackish water. So I'm able to easily just scoop everything out within 5 minutes and put in a fresh batch of water. And so it's really pretty simple. I give them a couple of algae wafers and change their water quite often, at least once a week, if not 1.5 weeks, or sooner, like whenever. So sometimes if I feed them too much, well, they're getting considerably less. I got them in the first week or second week that Inky was with me, and Inky's been with me over 2 months. So they're getting.
Oh, you're freezing up a bit.
Less, and I did lose some. Really pretty okay.
Cool. All right, so let's look at your frozen.
This is what he eats. So crabs are.
I think
so before I got this shipment. Am I back? Yes. I think so.
There we go. Yeah, you're back.
Should I
cool
exit and come back again? Okay. So before I got this shipment, I went to Petco and I got hermit crabs, and that is an expensive cuisine. But you know, the fiddler crabs are very large, as we saw in one of the first pictures you were showing, compared to Inky's crabs are really large. So I feed him once every 3 days doing the fiddler crab, and he gets scared with these guys. So somebody on the forum for cephalopods is called Tonmo, Tonmo. They said that crab is far too big. You need to freeze it and feed him just a little piece of it. So I'm like, what's the purpose of having live crabs then, right? So I went and I got some scallops and some raw. Yeah, I got some scallops and some raw shrimp from Whole Foods the other day. Chopped it up really fine, and I fed him on a bamboo skewer a scallop last night. He didn't care for it.
Oh, really?
He didn't care for it. So I placed an order with Reef Cleaners for bulk hermit crabs and small Florida snails, serret snails. So that shipment came in this morning. So there's a ton of snacks. I think he's going to be very happy once he comes out tonight.
Nice. Hey, JV Gwaltney, Jason Langer. I think I said hi to you guys. I don't want to miss anybody. Okay. And so we will get to Symbiotic Aquatic is here. Hello. All right. Let's get to these videos showing Inky and what he gets up to. This one.
Ribs, yummy. Yes. mermaids reef, they are escape artists. Him throwing his trash at me.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Jason
the one
Langer says
toss,
try.
he threw his trash at me.
Jason Langer says try live ghost shrimp.
Yes, he's right. I actually have a friend out in Long Island who has scooped up some of these shrimp from his backyard pretty much for me, but I haven't had a chance to go over there to get them. But yes, they are on the to-do list.
Nice. Oh yeah, and I wanted to show this as well because people. I mean, the thing that most people know about octopuses is, I mean, aside from the tentacled arms and everything, is exactly that. Did that go away?
Yeah, we saw it it's a very short video. So this is him inking. This was the first day or the second day that I put him in his tank. And he doesn't like the light. He's a nocturnal creature. But I was trying to finger in to see if he would grab it. You know, I keep hearing that. And I really wanted to see if he would grab my finger, and he inked me and he ran off.
Wow. What surprised me when I first saw this was right at the end there, that stuff has actually got mass to it. I guess I always thought of Octopus Ink as just like food coloring, but it actually is like slime, isn't it?
Really a lot thicker. It's not liquidy, so it's more like a gel.
So
and
cool.
You can actually net it out. So it's, you know, the consistency of it is pretty thick. So it doesn't like dissolve like liquid would. Over time it does, I suppose. But carbon will neutralize it and you can scoop it out. So I think it's either my net that's like giving all this slow stuff. But
yeah, it's I don't see myself freezing.
If you can,
do you want to go out and come back? Maybe get a different connection?
You know what? Let me try that. It might work. So I'll be back.
Okay. Let me say hi to a few people in the comments here. Reefacution is here. Symbiotic aquatic. Blue carbon. Isn't it octopi? Discussing how to express the plural of octopus. I guess we never did answer the question how often Inky gets fed, but we will answer that.
Hey.
There you go. You're back.
Hopefully this is better.
Yeah, that might be a little better. You seem to be moving better.
Okay, good. Yeah, I have my niece and I think she's gaming, so I think she might be like tapping into my stream. But okay, so I was reading what blue carbon reefing was saying. It sounds like octopuses is more grammatically correct. You are right. Octopi is acceptable, but it is not grammatically correct.
So how often do you feed Inky?
These fiddler crabs are so large, I feed him every 3 days. But now that I've amount of snacks with the little hermit crabs in his tank, I'm just gonna let him do his thing. Oh, he just came out. So I'm seeing him on a live stream. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but
Yeah,
he just came out. There he is. So he's doing that, the wheels on the bus go around and around with his tentacle thing.
Yeah, that. I'm going to make you full screen so we can get that.
There we go.
Effect.
There we go.
Kind of over to the upper right. He's on top of that rock.
Yes, he is.
Wow.
Well, yeah, so like right there.
So you have a night vision camera hooked up to a webcam that you can view on your computer there?
Yeah, so this is actually my iPad, but I usually see him on my phone because it's by my nightstand. So I'm like at all hours of the night, I'm looking at him. It's so funny. This is my backup camera. My cat 2 nights ago jumped up on my kitchen counter. This tank is in my kitchen. It's on the ledge from my kitchen into the dining. And so my cat jumped up on the kitchen counter and knocked my camera off into the sink into some water. So
Oh,
she killed my Wise cam, and while I wait for another one, this is my backup cam.
let's see what other videos I've got here. Oh yeah,
This is
that's the
the
ink.
Inky one. Yep.
That is so cool. And you were saying you can net it out because it's
Yeah.
like a gel almost.
Yep. So
Uh,
that's what I did. I netted it out.
that really surprised me when I saw that. That's beautiful.
Water to acclimate him to the temperature was done, but this was to get him acclimated to the chemistry. Yes. So blue carbon reefing. Yes. Um, the tank is a 10-gallon generally. It comes with a glass lid, but just recently I had my friend make me an acrylic lid, so it's got a lot of holes on top, and it's a really tiny bit bigger than the original lid that comes with the tank because I was afraid of the gaps that were on the edges. It was a little bit too much for me for my comfort level. But anyway, so what I did was, since he was in that tank, I've got press and seal, the kitchen press and seal on all four sides, going in about an inch into the tank, and the lid is on top of that. So it's really sealed nicely on the side. Of course, it's only as good as the time he decides to escape, right? But and I have weighed it down because they say that they can push the lid up. So even though he's really super tiny, I don't want to take any chances. So I've weighed it down with something. Yes,
Yeah,
my octopus teacher, somebody's talking about that. Have you seen, Cindy, that Netflix documentary called My Octopus Teacher?
no, but I saw someone posted about it. Was that you that posted about it on Insta in the last few days?
Uh, I think it was ReefGrrl, but I mean, everybody was talking about it. Octo Nation, they were all talking about it. Every time anybody mentions I got an octopus, did you see this? Did you see this? Really amazing. They're such intelligent animals, and this
Yeah.
wild creature made a bond with a photographer or underwater videographer. It was really, really special. They don't need live food. Somebody was mentioning that in the chat. Of course, they prefer it, but a lot of these octopus keepers on the forum feed raw shrimp, dead raw shrimp from the human shrimp, table shrimp, and also scallops, clams. So you can get like just one clam and an oyster. Make a little, depending on the octopus. Some can open it on their own, they have the strength, but Inky's really itty bitty. So if I ever got him a clam, which would be far too big for him, I would need to actually make a hole so that he can reach in and do his thing. He won't
Right.
open it.
Yeah. Octolab TV. Isn't that interesting? I have to look at
I'm gonna
that.
have to check that out. There's this Nat Geo video that somebody, very high definition video, beautiful, up close. There's an octopus sleeping and dreaming and changing colors in their dreams. Oh, so incredible. These guys are very, very intelligent. So he does get bored, Inky, even though he's not very interactive like you see. I have a friend actually who kept octopus, and he had a tugboat that the octopus was like would take around the tank. Inky doesn't do any of that. I've got some dice in there, so he's just one time like lassoed the dice towards him. But he does get bored, and so the only way for a nocturnal octopus for me to keep him entertained is I rearrange the rocks in his tank once a week, once in 10 days, to give him something new to think about, and that keeps him that keeps him motivated. He looks like he's really happy right now. I'm looking at the feed because of all the snacks that just came in this morning. So he looks like he's never like stayed in the corner so long. He's always on the glass. So he's probably seeing all these snails and having a good old time over there. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I know, he's super cute.
Hey, Reefing with O. Reefing with O says, Cat is a special guest. Whoop, whoop.
Actually, it's Inky. Inky, the special guest.
It's a duo. Oh,
Yeah.
that's really cool. Let's see what else we've got for videos here. This one. Now, Kat, last time I played a video, I couldn't hear you. So I don't know whether the chat could hear you. I didn't hear anyone say, or I didn't notice anyone say they couldn't. Maybe it's just me. But just in case, I'll just play this short video here.
Okay.
This one. This is from Instagram. Oh, it's not a video. So because
it's an animated GIF, so not really a video. But
cool.
Yeah, so he just to you can see that the rock shake up on top because I don't know what he's doing in there. He's trying to come out of it or what he was trying to do. But I called him Incules, like Hercules, because he was moving all the rocks around. It's too much. It's really silly.
Do you think that the fact rocks are more buoyant in salt water makes a difference to that, to his ability to do that?
I can't say. I mean, so they weren't like stacked like he could have moved it, they weren't like perfectly stacked. So
Right.
For some reason I think it's only showing 15 seconds and the movement may have been like after that. But yeah, he's moved, not moved as in dropped, but he's sort of, you can see them moving oftentimes these days. So their favorite thing to do is to hide in something that like encloses them, like a barnacle shell. And I've got this multi-barnacle shell in there, and he comes out of there every single night. It's the cutest thing. He's such a hoot. Very entertaining.
I cannot allow myself to look at any of those videos or information because I would have to have one. And if I ever got one, I wouldn't be able to tear myself away. And I'm known for being able to watch a kitten play for 2 hours. It just fascinates me.
Yes.
Watching animals. Yeah.
At some point, I'm going to get a daytime species, not a nocturnal species. I'm going to wait till I have the space to set up a system for that octopus. They really need a sump system. They really need a protein skimmer. And the reason is the foods that they eat, like the live crab and stuff, it really deteriorates the water quality. So you do need a large volume to be able to process all the stuff. It's kind of like harlequin shrimp with the starfish that they eat. It messes up your water parameters. So same thing with the octopus. But at some point, I am going to keep either California BMAC, however you call it, or one of those species. They're still tiny. They still stay small, but they're very interactive. So that will have to be one of the goals.
Yeah.
If you're ready, whenever you are, I would be happy to share resources, links, whatever. I couldn't own an animal that's smarter than me.
That's good. Hey, Tyler D, how are you doing? Yeah, it's it's one of those things. It took me a long time to give up on the idea of getting a cockatoo, but that's because it would outlive me easily. So, it wouldn't be fair to give something like that to someone else. So cool. So,
Yep.
would now be a good time to do the special giveaway? Do you think?
Let's do it.
I'm ready to go. It's 10:15, and let's just see. So, I have the 7 entrants, their names on these little pieces of paper, and I'll unfold each one and show you. And I have this bowl. this bowl right here. I'm going to put them all in here. I was going to use a steel bowl, but I thought better of it. Okay, some of you will know what that means. Okay, so 7 entries. The prize is a $50 gift card to the online retailer of your choice. And the rules were that when I did my reminder video for this week, I said it's time to celebrate by having a giveaway because we have a special guest. And to enter, all people had to do was send me an email with the word Inky for the subject line. And they sent it to my Gmail address, and I disabled the comments so no one could give it away by accident. And I had 7 entries, so that's awesome. And at the beginning of the stream, I'll repeat it now. Thank you so much for entering. I really had fun doing this, and it just reinforced the idea that I could do this anytime. And I have done it anytime too. Okay, so here's the bowl. So first we had, let me get this right, Christopher Hurst. Okay, so I'm folding this up. I'm putting it in the bowl. Then we had Jeff Downey. Okay, folding it up, going in the bowl. All the pieces of paper are identical. They're all identically folded, so there's no way I'm going to be able to tell by how they feel who it is, right? This is Chase V. Chase V. Okay. Then we have Tony Close. Tony is a regular here, and he's going to catch us on the replay tonight because he's unable to be here. And I also said that even though you don't need to be present on the live stream to win, it'd be a lot more fun if you were. So let's see who wins. Okay, and then we have, not very good at this, Taryn H. Hey, Taryn, that's Taryn's Little Ocean. She's a regular as well. We have Kevin H. Thanks for entering, Kevin. And we have William H. Thank you for entering, William H. So now I'm going to swirl it around. There's no way I can see anything. All right, I've got one. Okay. And who do we have? I don't even know. Come on. Who is it? Who is it? Taryn H. Congratulations, Taryn. You're the winner. Woohoo! Thanks, everybody, for entering. That was a lot of fun. So, Taryn, I have your email, and I'll be in touch, and we can decide what you would like as far as a $50 gift card, or if I can even get you something from a place you go to a lot, that'd be awesome. So that was fun. Thanks, everybody, for participating. Let's see what's going on in the comments. Okay. Yeah, congrats. Congratulations, Taryn. Yay.
Congratulations, Taryn.
Okay. Yeah, this was so cool. So how are your other tanks doing these days? Are they suffering at all from the amount of time that that Inky is consuming?
Well, yes, but not because of Inky, but just because I've been lazy. So my big reef is going through some STN issues. And the reason is, of course, the nutrients are extremely high, all-time high. But I discovered yesterday I also have high salinity. So I'm thinking everything combined, and I also have high calcium. So everything combined just was working overtime to stress out my corals. So I've been doing daily water changes every day, or worst case, every other day since about a week. And I did a massive 15-gallon change today. Usually I do 5 to 10. And I did a deep clean of the whole sump for the first time ever. Took out everything, scooped up all the detritus, and it was nasty. So, yeah, tomorrow's plan is another 15 gallons. of a water change, and I got all new cartridges for the RODI, which is easy enough, but I also got new tubing because I have never changed the tubing, and I saw that it is so gunky, kind of like the arteries of a heart that's clogged.
Yeah,
It's
it gets dark stains in it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and the flow has got to be severely restricted with so much crud, so that the opening is a lot smaller than the tubing is intended to have. So, gonna swap out all the RO tubing tomorrow and change out all the filters. So,
So
another
you've been reducing the salinity really slowly with the water changes then? Is that the
yes.
approach that you're taking?
So it wasn't that much higher, so it didn't take that much to get it lower.
Mhm.
But I didn't realize that it was high. Who knows how long it was high, and everything. Sometimes it's okay, but sometimes when other things are stressing it, the one more thing puts it over the top. So, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
not really a shock to the system, I don't think, but I'm just thinking, since some of those corals are already in decline, any changes would affect them anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about saving the ones that I already see in decline. I just don't want any more to go down.
Yeah.
Down.
It's hard because you think of it, when I got the very first tank I ever had was given to me, the salinity in there was 1.038. And there was a little clownfish in there that I'm sure his growth was stunted because of stress. And I called him Sid Vicious because he would leap at my face if I even looked into the tank. And
Wow.
I'm sure the poor little thing was suffering. So that's when I first kind of started investigating what to do for him once I learned what the problem was with that tank. And I remember at the time reading that you can drop salinity faster than, like, if you're going to increase it when you do the tank transfer method, you have to be really careful to go slow, but you can drop it more quickly, but you still shouldn't, but you can if you had to for some reason. And I was thinking about corals, and I thought it's got to be feeling like they're burning if it's that salty, and salt is a desiccant. So when you think of their tissue, I wonder about creating slime and allelopathy in the water just in general, and all of those things. So the salinity might be high, but we don't always think about all of those other associated reactions to it.
True, and I wonder if you've ever checked the salinity in any corals and fish that you get shipped to you. They're generally on the lower side. Even at the stores, they're generally on the lower side, and so that's why you acclimate things for a long time, exactly for that reason. And raising the salinity should be done slowly compared to dropping the salinity. Not to be done super fast either, but it's more for
it depends what it is, I guess. It's six of one, half dozen of the other sometimes with more delicate fish that are stressed. But I guess that's another good reason to have an observation tank or a quarantine tank where you can match the conditions to what they need a little more closely, and then be more gradual with your acclimation rather than have to acclimate them straight from the bag. Either that or get them from somewhere pre-quarantined where the conditions are similar to what you have.
right.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is. So Mermaid's Reef is talking about fiddler crabs escaping. Everybody's nightmare because those claws. Oh my god! But my cat. So at first I had this Rubbermaid bin with the fiddler crabs in my bathroom on the floor, and my cat was so curious, and she peeked in once or twice, and I freaked out because these claws are gonna grab her nose. Poor girl. So I was like, okay, I can't leave them on the bathroom floor. What if I leave my door open? What if, whatever. So I cleared out some space in my fish closet on the shelf, and I put the bin in there. And she still knows there's something up there because the bin is this plastic Rubbermaid bin, and their not their claws, their legs make this scratching noise when they're scurrying about. And she knows, and she just keeps looking at them like this bin. And then I realized I had a light on it, and you could see the shadows through the bin. So then I
Oh,
covered the bin with plastic, the sides of it, so she couldn't see these things moving about inside. My goodness, this cat. But Reef Keeper, yes, you're welcome. When you look at it, it's crazy gunky.
hey, WVU Reefer, welcome. Yeah, the very first couple of years that I had goldfish outside in a pond for the summer, I brought them in for the winter. And the first 2 years, I used a small Rubbermaid tub because they were only maybe 2 inches long at the time, maybe a little bigger. And I gave them a little ornament and a little hiding spot, and there was a little hang on filter and all of that kind of thing. Well, my cat would sit on the counter right beside, because this was on my kitchen counter. She would sit right beside and she would watch. And as soon as the fish swam over top of this flat rock that I have, she would scoop them out and flip them onto the floor. And so I think I started with 6 or 7, and probably about 4 went back into the pond the next summer. And I ended up having to put a lid on that thing because it was the only way I could protect the fish from this cat. She was lightning fast.
Yeah. David is saying a dip in peroxide. I've never done a coral dip in peroxide except zoanthids. Do you do that with SPS?
I don't think I would, because it's an oxidant.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So
I think you can do it with coral that's got soft tissue, but
yes.
I always think of, for example, SPS. They have such a thin layer of tissue. I would worry about stripping that away.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, SPS definitely does not do well in peroxide.
Oh, and Taryn said the last fish she got shipped came in at 10.19. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Crazy.
definitely. The Petco guy actually told me when I got the first batch of Inky food from the Petco wherever I went, he actually told me, you're gonna need to acclimate them because these are in low salinity. I was like, wow, I'm totally coming back to shop here.
Yeah.
Like he was worried about this $2 hermit crab bunch that I was taking home, so that was good.
David says he does SPS.
Wow.
And he dilutes the H2O2 and don't agitate. Yeah, maybe, because what I found is every once in a while, you know how frag plugs will get loaded with algae. So I'll pull them out of the tank, I'll scrape off what I can, and then I have hydrogen peroxide in a spray bottle. I take the cap off the spray bottle, I use it to cover the coral that's on the plug, and then I spray all around it, and then it just goes straight back in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never really soaked them per se in 100%, well, 100% of 3% hydrogen peroxide, but this spray works like a charm. The next day, those plugs are clean, and I might get a tiny bit of tissue loss around the margins of the coral if it seeps a little bit before I get it back in the tank.
Yeah.
But it's wonderful stuff.
I do something similar. I don't use a spray, but if there's algae on the frag plug, then I'll put them in like a makeshift egg crate little tray, and then I will take a pipette and dribble the peroxide, diluted peroxide, so that none of it is going to touch the coral by itself. So,
yeah, I've done that too. If you hold it right side up, you can go down the sides of the skeleton of LPS, like Euphilia and things like that. Especially bubble algae responds really well to peroxide, and I've gotten rid of a lot of it that way.
Yes, zoas can definitely tolerate the undiluted. They'll stay pissed for a couple days, but then they really open up nicely when all of that algae is oxidized and gone.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, people are dipping. Oh, my frags are all in Mollywood because the big tank, I just I guess I should move some of the frag racks back to the big tank, but the green wrasse just knocks everything all over the place.
Yeah.
The problem is where they are in Mollywood, they're starting to block the light from getting down to the front where my little scully is, and I have a cinerina there and a couple other things. So I think tomorrow I'm going to have to do some moving around of things and break out the glue and get the gloves. And I have several Montipora frags that are growing really big in Mollywood, and three of them I've got sitting on top of the Chaetomorpha algae that's in a breeder box stuck to the glass in Mollywood. And that stuff grows like nuts in there. You wouldn't believe it. It started out a little bigger than a golf ball, and now it fills the entire like 5 by 7 inch box. It's crazy. I'm sure it's got to be helping with the nutrient export in there.
Yeah, quite possibly. I had a question. There's cleaning vinegar that's available. That's a higher percentage, I believe.
It's a different. I think it also has other ingredients in it. It's acetic acid, probably not as diluted as what you get in the vinegar that you would use for preserving and things like that, the household vinegar.
So is that safe to use for cleaning equipment?
I don't honestly know, because you'd have to look at what the other ingredients are, I guess. And lately, I say everybody, I shouldn't say that, but lately I've seen people using citric acid instead of vinegar. And this follows on with something the Hydor representative told me in Chicago at Reefapalooza, because I've always used Hydor pumps. I love the things, but they don't last very long. And especially if you turn them on, off with a Hydor SmartWave. And he asked me what I was using to clean them. And I said, oh, vinegar. And he said, well, don't use vinegar because it causes swelling in the resin that's used to waterproof where the cord goes into the body.
Wow.
And when that stuff swells, it can start to leak. And so I stopped using vinegar, and now I might run a pump for 5 or 10 minutes in vinegar just to clear off any calcification that I see. And then I stop and I run it in fresh water, and then I put it in a citric acid bath and run it. And I've found the citric acid works just as well. It comes in a powder. You just pour it in the water, run the pump, agitate it, and it dissolves, and it does a great job.
A couple of comments are agreeing with you, and I wonder if that new Siche product, which is called like the Pump Clean or something, I wonder if that's citric acid.
Maybe it does. Oh, hey, Murphy's Aquatics. Nice to see you, Pat. Thanks for coming by. I just used white vinegar purchased from the deli. Citrus acid is the best. Yeah, citric acid is used for some types of, well, actually a lot of cleaning, but I'm trying to think of what it's used for in food preparation. There is something that you do use it for, but I forget just now what that is.
Citric acid. Preservative?
Yeah, maybe. I used to use cleaning vinegar, water storage bins. Now I'm using citric acid. Works great. I wonder if it's actually cheaper too to use citric acid, and it's probably more environmentally friendly, because I don't know about you, but I usually have at least 3 or 4 of those 2-gallon or 1 or 2 gallon jugs of vinegar sitting around. Well, I did until I started using citric acid. And even things like, I'm using a laundry detergent now that comes in strips. It's a dry. It comes in a paper sleeve, and it's called True Earth. And the whole idea behind this stuff is it reconstitutes in water, and it saves you from throwing away the plastic from detergent jugs. I should put the name up here, because honestly, it's True Earth.
The Siche pump cleaner is citric acid based, but there's a proprietary recipe. Interesting. Per Peter on our end. I'll have to check in with Siche themselves.
Yeah. You know,
Using,
it's a great idea, isn't it? That to come up with a product specifically to clean pumps, because I don't know that I've heard of anything else that has been apparently designed for that.
yeah, you're right, Christopher. I don't use straight vinegar either. It's always diluted.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing I can think of for vinegar is to clean a tank if it's got water and calcification in it.
Mm-hmm.
That to me works really well for that. I have never tried citric acid to clean glass. Your kitty's
Yeah,
peeking.
there's Callie. She's actually, I don't know if you could hear her. She's actually trilling at me to get my attention.
Yeah, my cat was in here wandering around a little while ago. He's probably looking for his food. Cool. I like the tuxedo cats, the black and white. They're beautiful.
Yeah. This one, she's a calico. She's got oranges and
Oh, really?
here she comes.
Oh, there she goes. Come on.
She's too much.
Oh, here we go. Jason says the CG pump cleaner is citric acid based, but there's a proprietary recipe that makes it even safer than just citric acid, per Peter on Reef News Network. Okay. All right. Kimber uses vinegar sparingly. Yeah, that's the thing about vinegar. We usually have it in the house. So if you needed to clean something up quickly, you could do it. Christopher says never use straight vinegar. I agree. Murphy says, I think it's funny most pumps say to not expose them to high alkaline water. Yeah.
I do not live near a highway. There is a street right outside. It's the main street on where I live, but it's not a highway. It's just a main road. She's not a Siamese. She's a mutt. I actually got her DNA tested, and she was a bunch of breeds. Norwegian forest cat included. The forest cat's really trying to think what else she was. But yeah, I got her DNA tested. There's one. Thank you. There's one company that does DNA testing for cats, and yeah, I got her tested about a year ago or so. She trills, she chatters. She has a treadmill. She has her own treadmill. She's super cute. She's definitely high maintenance or very demanding. She trills at me all day. She's a silly girl. So she's from a shelter, and I was actually fostering 3 of them, her and her 2 brothers. And I had no intention of keeping them. I was just, I'd lost my kitty after 17 and a half years. I was just like broken. So I thought I would foster to try to repair the hole in my heart, but she ended up wanting to stay. So
That's nice.
You lost a kitty recently, right?
Yep, my 20-year-old, she was 2 weeks shy of her 20th birthday.
Yeah.
Tika, she was the fisherman cat. She's the one that used to scoop the fish out. That cat was lightning fast. I've never had a cat that fast with her paws. Here, I'll show you guys a picture of, why can't I get it now? Oh,
Kimber,
wrong direction.
yes, your 2 orange cats, Kimber. Too much. I can't stand your Instagram these days. They're just adorable.
Yeah, they sure are. Yeah, we always thought Tika had some Maine Coon in her because I have pictures of her lying under the bed. And you know how they lie with one paw extended?
Yeah.
And she was just laying there, and her ruff was so beautiful and fluffy. She had ridiculously long ear hair, and she always took really good care of herself. She was impeccably groomed. I had to take over the grooming in the last probably 6 months of her life when she started getting sick. But she always looked beautiful. And so whenever we saw her like that, we always wondered if she was part Maine Coon, because just of the shape of her eyes and her face. Here's a Norwegian forest cat.
Yes, look at that tail. Wow.
Oh my God, beautiful. He looks like he means business.
Yep. Oh, this is Inky as Harry Potter. Yeah, it's all crazy.
Nice.
So
So how many? No,
do
go ahead.
I do recommend getting an octopus, Cindy.
Please don't tell me. I'd have to keep it in my bedroom so I could look at it while I'm lying down. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to get through this build and see what happens. It's
Slow
kind
and
of,
steady.
yep. And it's one of those things, and I think I've talked about this before, where you think you'll spend the day doing X, whatever it is. So then something comes along and you get a question and you have to answer the question. So then you have to do research. So then whatever X was is, okay, I'll do that after I answer this question. Like, what sort of overflow do you want? So I'm getting a bean animal overflow. So I'll have 3 grains. And
Okay.
how are we going to plumb that, right? Like, how are we going to get it through the floor into the basement? How many tiles do we have to peel up or drill through? Like, all that kind of stuff. So you do all this research, and before you know it, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you have to start thinking about getting things ready to have supper or do all the other stuff you put off that day because you were doing all this research and answering the questions and writing the emails back and forth in the correspondence. And I mean, I'm not complaining, but like you so underestimate how long this stuff takes. The amount of time of your day that you can spend just texting back and forth with somebody with little questions, looking stuff up. And the last thing you want to do is make a quick decision that ends up being wrong just because you want to get on and do something else. It's just it's all consuming.
Yeah,
it really is.
100% right. I think I found a video of Inky trying to devour this crab. I don't know if I sent this one to you, but it gives you an idea of how small he is compared to these crabs. I don't know. It's not clear, maybe. Yeah, I can't really see. You can see like a big white mass, but
wow, he's on the left there.
Yeah. So
and is that a crab beside him?
No, so he's holding onto a crab.
Wow.
He's on top of the crab. Let's see, no reflection. But yeah, so he's in this one, the crab is still alive and he's trying to kill him.
Wow.
Yeah, so my night vision camera is it detects motion, and it will record for 12 seconds and store it for 14 days in the cloud. So I'm able to, go in there and download what I need to. But I'm going to sign up for the service now. I have to get a new cam, so I'm going to sign up for the service where it's just going to record nonstop and there's no limit or whatever. So then I will actually see the strike for the crab.
Right.
Right now,
so
patch after.
So it's going to be like CCTV in the sense that the footage will be stored and then you'll have to look through it.
Yeah. I do that anyway. Right now it records 12 seconds, then it has to cool down for 5 minutes before it records again with motion detection.
Yeah.
So,
and this is the Wise Cam that does that, or
yes.
Yeah.
So,
I was debating getting one of those, but of course, with a reef tank, there's motion all the time. So,
Yeah,
you know,
but with this, without paying for the service, it comes with the automatic 12-second recording. You don't have to
I
pay
understand.
that.
Yeah.
Then you can set it for sensitivity to be low, so it doesn't all it. It's pretty interesting. Like it can unless there's like a big movement where it thinks there's a person, it won't record. There's also you are able to go in there and set the zone. So say the camera's pointed upwards and you see all the reflection of the water on the surface. That's
Hmm.
going to register as a motion. So in the detection settings, you are able to choose where it detects the motion. So it could be in the middle of the picture. But with fish swimming about, it's always going to record. But hey, maybe you want that. I have
Yeah.
an ice cap cam that I still have to hook up, but it was in Inky's tank for about a month, but it didn't do anything because it's always dark in there. It wouldn't record. But I've put it in my reef. I just have to hook it up. So that'll be
Mm.
nice.
Well, the Wise Cam is surprisingly good at night vision because every once in a while I'll just look at the tank, just before I go to bed. It's at my daughter's house still, and I
Mm.
have the Wise Cam set up at the very front edge of a drawer because there's a countertop. It's like a little kitchen. It was the kitchen nurse's office in this doctor's office that's part of their house. So I pull the drawer all the way out to get it as close as I can. And it's balanced precariously on the end of this drawer. And every once in a while it gets tilted. So I see the skimmer and nothing else. But it's surprising what you can see with that little Wise Cam 3 feet away from the tank at 11 o'clock at night when there are no lights on anywhere. And like I can see the little shiny eyes of the mollies swimming around.
Yep, yep,
It's
yep.
it's interesting.
Yeah, oftentimes with Inky, I won't know where he is, but I see his eyes on the top of his head. They reflect the light, so I know he's popping out of somewhere.
Right?
It's too much.
It's crazy. Yeah,
Animal. I
you're
really
right.
recommend researching and if it's right for people. No impulse buys, because oftentimes the
Yeah.
local fish store, they generally get a blue ringed octopus, which is deadly, can kill you. And that is for sure an impulse buy. This forum,
Mhm.
Tonmo, people set up their systems, they wait, and they actually order the specific gender, the specific kind of species of the octopus. They're very, very specific. And oh, my kitty's back in her perch. So they've hatched eggs in their
Mhm.
system. They've got generations that they have aquacultured, if you will, or tank raised. It's such an interesting side of the hobby. I would have never known if Dan hadn't said, "No, I'm sending this octopus to you." I just would never known. If I knew if I couldn't, absolutely couldn't, no way, shape, or form take care of this animal, I would have never accepted it. Uh,
Mhm.
but I mean, he wasn't completely new to me, but reading the care, once they're classified as expert only whenever you want to buy it from Live Aquaria or whatever, for a reason. They really
Mhm.
do require interaction. It's kind
Yeah.
of like having the cat or the dog at home. You can't just have them and leave them alone.
It's like having a cockatoo. When you have a cockatoo, you're living with a toddler that has bolt cutters on its face.
Yeah.
So, and they do require constant attention, stimulation. They're destructive, they're loud, they're noisy. Often they're in rescues because people did not do their research before they got them.
Mm.
And they end up going through multiple homes. So yeah, no, I ran across one that was 55 years old in a rescue, which would have worked.
Wow.
But I mean, my husband is a saint. When I mean, we had five animals in December of 2017. 3 cats and 2 dogs. And I look after the cats. He looked after the dogs. And now we're down to 1 cat. And we decided a long time ago, when Kenny is over, we're taking a break because we've had animals for 40 years. And I would like to spend that extra hour a day working on my reef tank. And I probably will need the time, especially in the early days when I first set it up. So,
Sure.
Yeah, you can only do what you can do. And the best thing to do is be realistic about what your capabilities and what you have available in your life to look after things.
Yeah. Oh, hey, true story. Somebody reached out to me a couple weeks ago and said, there's somebody that I know is looking for an octopus. Are you interested in selling Inky and his whole system? And I was like, you know what? Even if I was, these guys do not live very long. So I don't even know how long he has with me. Since I don't know how old he is. He was
Right.
caught. So I said, you can get him at this resource or here or there, wherever. But I thought that was interesting. Somebody just said, I want an octopus that's already got a system.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. So
Yeah, it's almost like they want something turnkey and aren't understanding that that's not all there is to it. Oh, good night, Benny's Aquariums.
good
You
night.
beautiful ladies and good night, reefers. Thanks for coming by. Taryn has 4 cats and a Saint Bernard. Yeah.
Saint Bernard, those guys are beautiful. Does he?
Yeah.
Does he? Have you seen those cartoons where they run around with a little barrel to rescue people, and there's a martini?
A little keg, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, a cask. I believe they're called casks.
Oh yes, a cask.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Well, so have you got any plans for any other tanks, or you've got your Reefer 250, and you've got Inky. Do you have any other tanks going on at the moment?
I've got a freshwater, which needs trim because the plants are growing out of control. Just got a new my tank's CO2. They run CO2, so I just got the canister refilled yesterday. So got to hook that up and do a little maintenance there as well. So I just have the Red Sea Reefer 350, Inky's tank, and the freshwater. I tore down 2 shrimp tanks to make room for Inky's tank. Yeah, so 3
I'm
tanks.
sorry. I think I said 250. I knew you had a 350 because you have the 4-foot tank. Yeah.
Yep, it's the 350. It's a nice tank. Not too large, not small at all. It's a nice size, I think.
Yeah, I had the Red Sea XL 425, and the only difference between it and the 350 is it's a little deeper front to back.
Correct.
So that was good to have. Whoa, Pelfrey's here. Thanks, Pelfrey. Little funds for the new build. I appreciate it, man. Nice to see you. Kevin Clasher 3. Mark's Aquatics got an octopus as a hitchhiker recently.
Yeah, what did they do with it? And do you know what kind of what species of octopus it may have been?
What's that?
I was just wondering if he knows what species aquatics hitchhiker was.
Yeah, I imagine it would have to be a dwarf or pygmy species for it to come in that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Inky's species is very common in the wild and in the natural oceans, but you don't see them in the trades so often because they're nocturnal and they are so tiny. So if they do come in as a hitchhiker, it's kind of rare. Plus, their lifespan is so short. Oftentimes they may not make it for too long before.
Yeah. Oh, good night, Alan. ATF in the house. Enjoyed the octopus and cat talk. Probably have our last. A patty paw, mutant orange tabby, runt with a few odd-shaped paws and legs. Oh, that's nice.
Very sweet.
Yeah. Good night, Alan.
Holly
Yeah, My Kenny is a polydactyl. He has 22 toes,
Yep.
and he weighs 16 pounds, and he is not fat. And he's tall enough to put his paws on the edge of the dining room table. He's a big guy. We've started actually letting him sleep on the bed at night because
Ooh.
I think of him. He was used to having two other cats and two dogs as companions,
Mm.
and we've had him since 2008. So I think he's 14 now. We got
Wow.
him as a shelter cat a couple of years old, and he was so clingy lately, and he wanders around the house meowing. So we decided to let him come into the bedroom because we had kept the cats out of the bedroom just because of cat hair everywhere
Sure.
on our clothes, and they would sleep on clothes, and it was just so we decided that's where we would draw the line. And he seems to be better. It's just been a couple of nights, but it seems to have helped him just to know that he can come in and see us if he wants to. Um, we don't have him meowing and scratching at the door. And I'm thinking he was lonely
Mm.
because he lost his last companion, Tika, the 20-year-old, like in September. And when we were living at my daughter, she has a cat and a little French bulldog. So he had company.
Sure.
Then we moved here a couple of weeks ago, and now all of a sudden, well, actually a month ago now that I think about it, wow, where did
Yeah.
the time go?
Right.
Um, yeah, so I think he was lonely, and I kind of felt bad for him. So we'll see how that goes. See how long I can stand him sleeping on my feet.
Oh.
What else have I got here? I'm just checking to see if I have any more videos I didn't show you guys of Inky or pictures. I think I got everything, but I could not get. I thought I got that crab toss video, but I couldn't. I just got what I showed you, and that was it. Crab grab. Yeah. For some reason, I kept getting errors. In fact, I got an error message on here right now.
Right. Let me see if I can pull it up maybe on my phone.
Because it's funny. It's like, what are you giving me? Fling.
Yeah, he just totally threw his trash at me. He's so silly. Okay, so let's see if I can play this.
Here, I'll put you up full screen.
I'm still trying to figure out where it might be. Yeah. Okay. So let's see if I can pick it up. Oh, the reflection. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so maybe when it. Oh, there he is. Look at him throw the crab carcass at me.
It is exactly like that. It's just throwing it.
Yeah. So if this like resets, I'll show you again. There he is. And he just literally just throws his trash at me. He's done that a couple of times actually. He's
Oh man.
uh, anyway, he's a hoot.
Yeah. So so as long as you have Inky, do you think you would get another one of these when you
No,
don't have Inky anymore?
no, they I mean, the lifespan is so short. I don't think so. And definitely not another nocturnal. It would be nice to have a daytime one, but they
Right,
do
you were
proper.
mentioning that. Yeah.
I've always wanted to set up a macro algae tank, so that's what I will convert this tank to.
Hmm.
Small enough to have just colorful, nice macros.
Yeah.
That's the plan for the tank. I'm not going to keep another octopus in this tank.
Hmm. And you said what? It's 7 gallons.
It's 10
10
gallons.
gallons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a decent size. You could probably do something beautiful with macroalgae in there.
Yes, and because of the submersible filter that I have in here, it's pretty large. It's taken up a lot of room. So when I do the macroalgae, I'll probably do a hang on the back, because I won't need the lid. I don't intend to. Maybe I'll keep a mandarin. I don't know yet. But certainly, or one of the teeny tiny gobies with a shrimp.
Yeah.
But definitely macros is something on my mind. Inky is just the size of a quarter, so he can get away with a 10-gallon, but you really ought to have a 30 as a minimum. This is just to process, the nutrients when they eat the crabs. It fouls up your water, especially if they didn't eat it all the way and they're decaying in there and you can't get to pull them out.
Yeah. And you can't exactly load up with cleanup crew because it becomes a snack for you.
It is. So right now I am loaded because of the shipment I got this morning for Inky. So I got, I put only 5 or 7 hermit crabs in his tank. The rest are in my reef. There's also very little algae in here, so I don't want them to die. But there's serret snails. I got like 100 of those, tiny, teeny, tiny ones. And there's another dwarf planaxis or some snail, which is so super small. But those are snacks, whenever he's hungry, he'll go and he'll like do a crunch here and there. So I don't have to worry about him being hungry, and the large crabs are too much for him.
Yeah. So the submersible filter that you have, I have 3 different sizes that I was using in my sump to churn the water and do some filtering in the return chamber, because in spite of all the filtration I had, the return chamber still had all kinds of gunk in it. So I thought if I churned up the water and used a small filter, I could get it out, and it worked. But this particular brand came in 3 different sizes, and I have all 3. And I noticed it in the inking video, sitting to one side. And I can't believe how powerful those things are. So to me, that's an ideal type of filtration to use in a nano tank if you have escape artists of any type. I mean, even some types of small fish like dartfish, firefish, blue jaw, that sort of thing that will jump. That's a great way to keep the water clean.
Definitely. And this one is the fluval. I went for the largest size that I could accommodate in this tank. That was submersible, and it has all these chambers inside where I can put in, there's biomedia, there's carbon, there's a filter, floss, of course, and then there's a special cartridge to remove phosphates and nitrates also.
Right. So does yours have like a spray bar on it?
It does have the spray bar. It has 3 configurations, so you could have a jet, the flow coming out through a jet from the top, from the bottom, or the spray bar. So I chose the spray bar because that also closes the jet nozzles.
Yeah.
Inky can't get in there. So,
Yeah, you got to think of those things. Wow. Oh, hey, Hector. Calypso's Reef is here. Nice to see you, Hector. You're going to have to watch the replay and find out about Inky the octopus. It's really fascinating. Really good. Well, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for being here. It's my 11 o'clock.
Yes, and, you're very kind to have Inky as your special guest and to have me on talking about it. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate the time you spent, because I know it's Saturday night and there's lots of different priorities. So it was great, and I'm sure everybody watching appreciated it too. So thanks so much for being here. Sorry I messed up getting you in here.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I knew you'd get to it, but no, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Right, and take care of yourself. And I look forward to more posts on Instagram. And if anyone doesn't follow Kat on Instagram, I'm going to put up her name there, Metro Cat. Check it out. There's lots of really cool stuff there, and it's a rabbit hole. You'll spend some time looking at everything. I sure did when I first came across it. So Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. See you later.
See you. Bye.
Bye. So everybody, it's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Sorry, I might be too old for everybody to know what that was all about, but good night, all. Look at this. Yeah, Hector says he'll watch the replay. Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. All right. Oh, thanks, Christopher. I'm glad you did. I don't know if it was your first one, but thanks for stopping by and for entering the contest. And thank you, everybody. And remember, there could be more giveaways, and I'll probably hide them at the end of my videos. So if you want to skip through to the end, that's fine. That's up to you. But then it might be one of those ones where I leave clues throughout the video. You just don't know. I've done it before. So anyway, I have to have a little bit of fun. And Taryn, I'll be in touch, and we'll figure out what to get you from where. And we will see you all next week. So stay safe. Take care of everybody. Holiday season's coming. We want to spend time with our families, so hopefully we can get through all of this thing. So good night. Happy reefing.